So how often should you see a chiropractor? Depends. She was also having some muscle spasms, so she had a little bit of a flare-up. We just put you on a half hour of decompression. Hello everyone. For those of you that are wondering if they go to a chiropractor, how often should I go? Do I need to go for the rest of my life? Those things. There's a lot of questions out there about how frequently you should go for chiropractic care, or whether you should go or not. Well, first off, my take on that is that if you're one of those people asking that, then you probably have something going on with your spine, whether it's neck pain, back pain, but the fact that the spine controls so much more than our back and our neck. Our spine is our master control system. It's our nervous system. It controls everything. So these 32 pairs of nerves that we have from the top of the neck all the way down to the lower back connect the brain to the rest of the body. And a lot of people don't make that connection. And we have Stephanie here. She's been in here for some disc herniations in her lower back. And unfortunately, the discs are pressing on the nerves, and those nerves radiate down and control the sensation in the outer part of her foot, L5-S1 to be exact. L5-S1 disc is herniated, pressing on S1 nerve root, creating that discomfort that she has in her foot. We were able to get rid of a lot of the upper leg pain and a lot of the back pain, but it has come back. So then the question she had asked is, how often do I need to come in, and do I need to take care of this? And that's a great question, because a lot of times we have patients that are on plans. We're just trying to get them out of pain. 4 to 6 weeks with a simple muscle and joint dysfunction. But because she has multiple disc herniations in her back, disc herniations take longer to heal. And in some cases, we just did a video yesterday about a young woman that had her sciatic nerve pain relieved in 2 visits. Not every case is like that, okay? Herniations are not all the same. Herniations can herniate in different directions, different amounts. You could have a disc extrusion, a fissure. There are many different types of herniations, and not everybody, you can have 2 people with the same identical herniation and one person be symptomatic and the other not. It just depends on your threshold for pain, what you yourself can tolerate. So generally speaking, how often should I go see a chiropractor? Well, initially, if you're getting over an injury, usually it's 2 to 3 times a week for 6 to 8 weeks, depending on the condition. You should be seeing results within 4 weeks to 5 weeks under care of a chiropractor. And if you're not, you should speak up and tell him. That being said, someone like Stephanie here that has multiple disc herniations in her lower back, I would probably recommend that once we get her through the initial acute pain, which again can take, well, as you saw in our other video, two visits just to get rid of the pain, but we didn't solve the problem. We didn't fix her problem for her. We just got rid of the symptoms, which is great, but we still have work to do with her. So I would say on average a disc injury takes about 3 months to heal and completely recover from that, and that includes strengthening your core. So that's what we're going to do next with Stephanie. And by strengthening her core, I mean her glutes and her abdominal muscles. And we're going to show you some glute exercises right after this, and how we treat sciatica and herniated discs here in the office. We just had her on spinal decompression, and that spinal decompression, now we're going to do coxflexion distraction technique to take pressure off the nerves, and then again we're going to show you a couple of exercises to strengthen the glutes I think everybody knows how to strengthen their abdominal muscles. They've all seen crunches. Make sure you're doing them properly. Tender in through here?
I can feel it radiating, but...
Okay. So how often should you see a chiropractor? Depends. I do maintenance care with or without pain, and that might be once or twice a month. It differs from month to month. Right now we're going to do a little flexion distraction technique to open up the foramina and open up the space where the nerve exits from the spine. Do you have any pain into your legs?
No.
Okay. She was also having some muscle spasms, so she had a little bit of a flare-up. And is the baby walking yet?
No.
No, so you're still picking the baby up from time to time?
Yep.
Yeah. So she's got a 9-month or 10?
He just turned 1.
Turned 1, okay. So he's about to walk, okay.
Yeah.
And that can put a lot of extra stress on the back. And the other thing, we're talking about how often should you see a chiropractor? Well, it depends on what you're doing every day, those aggravating factors. And this is probably the biggest thing. So what you want to do is you want to figure out what you're doing that aggravates your back. Is it after you've been sitting at work in front of the computer all day? Is it in the morning when you wake up every morning consistently? If it is, maybe it's your mattress. When was the last time you changed or flipped your mattress? If it's when you sit, do you have a good ergonomic setup? Do you have a good chair, a proper chair? Things like that. And if you have a disc herniation, there are some things that you can do to mitigate those risks. Like a sacral wedge is a cushion you can sit on to take some of that pressure off of your low back. When you sit down, you're adding 220 pounds of weight to your lumbar discs. That's a lot of weight to the discs. And if you can lessen some of that with a simple cushion, why not do that? Especially if you have to sit 8 to 10 hours. So things like that, trying to figure out what aggravates your condition and trying to correct some of those aggravating factors so that you don't have to see the chiropractor as often. But not only that, you're not compressing your discs, you're not injuring your back, making it worse, okay? You're being proactive, and that extends all the way to lifting properly. So we're gonna show her after this. Let's do that. Let's show her how to lift properly, even the little one. And then we're also gonna show you how to strengthen the glutes. How are we doing there? Any leg pain?
No.
Okay. Keep your legs straight. Raise one leg as high as you can. And down. The other one. And down. Is one leg harder to raise than the other?
I think so, right.
Right?
You know, like my knees feel like achy. Like
Okay.
on the back.
On the outs.
The back
Out here
lateral,
or
yeah.
back? Yeah.
Out and back.
Yeah, yeah. And that's L5S1 nerve root. That pathway there.
If I stay in one position for a while, I feel it.
Okay. And that's a matter of strengthening your core. We definitely need to do that with you. So at the end here, I'm just going to go through some quick exercises that you can do for your glutes specifically, okay? We just put you on a half hour of decompression and some flexion distraction, so it may be aggravated for an hour or so afterwards, okay? It should calm down after that. Don't pick up the baby for the next hour or two if you can avoid it. And if you have to, we'll show you the right way to pick up the child, okay? Sometimes easier said than done when the kid's fidgeting and, you know, doesn't want to be picked up. It's a little bit more difficult sometimes.
When we up the stairs, he tends to lay back. So,
In your arms?
yeah, so when we're carrying stuff like groceries and he's leaning back, puts a lot of pressure on our back.
You probably almost can't wait till he can walk in a way.
So while he's trying to go up the stairs.
Yeah, that's a whole other story. Okay, turn over on your back.
One last thing. Tell me what you think in comments below. I went to film school before I got my doctorate. I do all the writing, directing, producing, sound, editing, and the cool special effects you see here. Folks, I'm not asking for an Academy Award or an Oscar, just a simple thumbs up if you like my video. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel for the latest, greatest content on YouTube. Thank you, appreciate all of you.
Okay, so you're not having any back pain, you're just having the lower leg pain now, okay? So what I'm doing here is releasing her psoas muscle. This is a hip flexor. I know that one of the big factors, aggravating factors, we were talking about, is the cutie pie, the little one. And, you know, he's one and he's crawling now. So the other issue we talked about is the crib. They stopped making those cribs where the side comes down, yeah, because it was dangerous. And it's a challenge because you have to lift over the crib. It's hard to lift the baby, and they're gaining weight every day. You know, it's hard to reach over and do that without hurting your back.
Especially if you're a short person, and I'm not that tall.
And then if you put it on the ground, you know, you still have to kind of kneel down and reach over. The only really way is to get in the crib, and kneel at the knees, bend down and pick the baby up. And for a lot of people, that's just not possible because they can't either fit in it or it's just not sturdy enough to hold an adult. So it's certainly a challenge, and I'm not sure I have an answer. I don't have kids. I'm not sure I have an answer for that part, but I wonder if you Googled ergonomic crib, or I don't know what that would fall under, but I could see how the wall coming down, the side of the crib coming down could be dangerous, unless the crib was on the ground. But even then, the baby could get out, and that could be dangerous too.
I mean, as long as the rails are up, the baby should be fine.
True.
Like I said, I have a pack and play. It's different. Other people have the cribs, and they're even bigger. They're even like higher up.
You mean the
wooden
gates?
ones?
Yep.
My pack and play is smaller.
Okay, let's have you put your arms out in front of you, and I'm gonna push down. Resist me. 1, 2, 3. Resist. Okay. Where did that hurt? Which shoulder? Both?
Yeah. I mean, it just felt like a stretch down.
Okay. All right. Let's have this hand here. Okay, I'm gonna pull out. Resist me. 1, 2, 3. Resist. 1, 2, 3. Resist. Okay. Any pain there when I do that?
No, not really.
Okay. And 1, 2, 3. Resist. 1, 2, 3. Resist. Any pain there? Or was this one worse?
Maybe a little worse.
Yeah, slide up for me. So we're going to adjust your clavicle here. Okay. So face that way. One last one. Okay, now that left hand up, palm facing out, and 1, 2, 3, resist. 1, 2, 3, resist. That's better. Certainly better. I don't know if you noticed the difference. Was it less painful?
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't really pain. It was just a stretching or pulling.
Okay, and what about the second time? Did you have that feeling?
A little bit, but not significant.
Okay. You're currently doing physical therapy for your shoulder, right?
Both shoulders, yeah.
Okay. Relax yourself here. Any headaches at all?
It's better now, but it was really bad earlier in the week
Okay.
and last week.
This is why right here. Relax here. Good.
Oh.
That's why you were getting some headaches up there. Okay, much better.
I just felt it when you did that, like the headaches just,
Oh yeah?
yeah. But then it's slowly going away.
Feel all that right there?
Yeah, yeah.
All
She was
that.
like trying to loosen that for me last
It's
time.
a tension headache.
Yeah.
But then there are pain nucleuses, nerves at C2, C3 level that send pain signals to the brain and head. So I just cleared up C2 and C1, and now you should be able to finally get rid of that headache for good here. Feel that right there?
Yeah, that's.
Take a deep breath in for me. Good, and blow out. So again, we go back to the question of how often should you see a chiropractor? It's a great question, and for everybody it's different. Some people that have really active lifestyles may need it a little bit less. Others that don't have as active of a lifestyle, or they have a job where they're compromising their body position, like being a plumber or a hairstylist or a dental assistant, a dental hygienist, where they're kind of leaning over people all day. So it depends on your job, what you do at home, your hobbies, so many different aggravating factors that you need to take into account and address. And by addressing those, you'll mitigate the risks of re-injuring your back. Now, let's go over glute exercises. So why don't you stand up and I'll show you those. Okay, so just on the ground, you can do this, the leg raises, just like this. And you can do a couple with lateral and straight back to hit the glute max, medius, and minimus, right? Doing it like that. And you can add ankle weights again to make it more challenging, and do 10 to 15 on each side. That's one great exercise to isolate your glutes. And that's one thing you want to do with the core when you're strengthening your core. Amongst other things, obviously you want to strengthen your abs. Now lifting.
I have like bands.
Yep, you can use a band as well. That's great. Then the other thing with lifting, so let me show you that. So we come around here and we have this on the ground here, right? We want to make sure that we're not going like this, right, and bending at the back. Instead, what we want to do is we want to kind of put our feet around the item, even if it's a light item, and step close to it, bend at the knees, and lift with the legs, not with the back, excuse me. And especially with a child, you know, your kid's probably, how much now? How much does he weigh?
He's like 21 pounds right now.
21 pounds and growing every day. So again, bring your feet close to it, put the item in the middle of your legs, put the item right at the toes, so when you bend down, it's right between your legs, and you lift with the legs, not this. So when you go and you do this, see me? How I'm bent like this? I'm actually activating my psoas muscle, which is what I just released on you, which was really painful.
Yeah.
So we want to be careful, just even doing this. When you go to get your stuff off this chair, it's a low chair, you're gonna probably do this. You'd rather do this, put on your shirt, bend down again, pick up your bag. It looks silly, but that's the right way to do it. If you start getting in that habit, you'll avoid injury.
Like kind of like this. Because I know when I'm changing him,
that's not a great idea either, because if it's heavy, right, it's heavy, you're gonna end up, what's gonna take the brunt of that? Your back. So yeah, doing that with the foot out, no, not good. Come close to it if it's at this level. So if it's from here to here, you know, then you could just pick it up. You don't need to bend, obviously, right?
Well,
if it's below, if it's at the knees or lower, then you have to bend.
The big problem for us was having back problems when we were changing him.
Okay.
The changing table was a little
Changing
lower,
table.
so we would change him like this.
Better that you raised the changing table up a little bit. You
but
did,
then
okay.
Our wet wipes are, we go down and we pick up the wet wipes.
Maybe putting them up higher. So all of these little things that you're doing consistently over throughout the day, trying to rethink them, set up your house ergonomically. There's a lot to think about, and everybody has a different situation. If you guys have any comments or questions, comment below. We should probably do another video on how to lift properly, but thanks for tuning in, everyone.